Here we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to, hold on. Let me step in here. I'm going to step off to the side. And I'm in the back because I know I can get in here now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Culture Divide Experiment. My name is Barry J, and it's been a long time, but I'm excited to kind of start our series back off again. And this series that we're actually going to end the year with and continue into the next year is Renaissance. That's going to be the word, Renaissance. French word for rebirth. And these ladies here are going through some rebirth. I have to say, I've had a little bit of time to read the book, Love Behind the Blue Line. We got a lot of things to talk about. So, ladies, I'm going to step back around to the back of the camera because I want this to be all about you guys. So I'm going to be asking some serious questions here. So I'm stepping off here because it is not my show. Today is all about you, and if you don't mind, I'm going to start from the right here with Rachel. Please introduce yourself and tell us where this idea of yours came from.
All right, so I am Rachel Dolcine, and I got this idea probably about 2 years ago. It fell in my spirit to do a collaborative book of stories that were written by police, wives of law enforcement officers, to kind of share our experiences behind the blue line with everything that was happening culturally, politically. It really started to bother me that our voices were not a part of the dialogue, our voices were not a part of the rhetoric of what was happening, our voices were not a part of the story. So now we have interjected our voices into what is being told about law enforcement officers, and so kind of that's why, this is how this book came about.
So there, I see a common theme here, blue.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So basically, I was just like, guys, we were in blue to all our events.
That's a
normally
represent blue.
Yeah, it's a blue and it's love behind the blue line. And when we did our photo shoot for the book, this was the color, and we just fell in love with it. Like, our pictures came out amazing. And so we were like, to keep the theme going, we're supporting that blue line, and so we are wearing different shades of blue.
That's right.
Beautiful.
And white.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. Please introduce yourself and tell us your ideas and your thoughts behind the book.
I'm Charlie Moulton Campbell, and I've been a silent writer for a long time. I have a lot of writing that just sits there. And when Joy threw this idea out, I thought it was time to share my story. So I decided to be a part of this project. And we just want women out there to know that they're not alone. Like, we're there to support you. There's a whole network of women out there who can hold it down, who can support you in, going through all these experiences, facing all these challenges. We are there for you. We want to foster hope within these women. We want to encourage, we want to shift the thinking of these women. We want to shift the thinking of everyone out there, that they'll understand that there's a story behind this blue line that needs to be shared and needs to be understood.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hi, so my name is Cindy Ruchand, and I just wanted to be a part of this book because, just like our co-authors mentioned, to give you support, to let you know that you're not alone. I love that you said Renaissance because this is us birthing our purpose and our destiny. We're out there sharing our stories and giving life to other people to know that you can get through this. This is not a job that's easy, but we want to show with you tips, strategies that we did to make our marriages last. And we want to be a support group because when I started this with my husband, I had no support. I suffered in silence. I dealt with fear. Today, I'm courageously coming out and being a part of this book and sharing our stories. So just get this book because you're going to be blessed by it.
Excellent.
Hello, my name is Charlene Nader, and when Rachel first brought this opportunity to my mind and shared with me if I wanted to be a part of this project, I knew right away that it was something that I needed to do. It was time for me to open my mouth. It was time for me to begin to share some of my experiences and to not only share my experiences but also do it in a way where we're doing it collectively as a group of women to show that the support is needed and that the support is there, that you're not doing it alone. And if you look at the back of our book, you see unity, you see love, you see understanding, you see courage. There's so much that just from looking at a picture, you begin to see what are the words that are in that book and how it's going to change your life. And that's why I did this, and I am so proud that I'm here and that I'm here with these amazing women.
Excellent. Thank you so very much, ladies. Now we're going to get into the good stuff, okay? So I've been reading and I've been listening to you guys, and my question to you is, what happens when you don't agree with the blue? How does that affect the household?
That's a very good question.
I mean, because it's serious. Rachel put it out there to me. She said, Barry, there's some stuff out there on social media, and I went out to go check it out, and it was a lot of positive. And then you also have the trolls out there that can say whatever they want because obviously they can't be found. So I think that gives people a different sort of courage. But from your courage of coming out with this, how does it feel when you don't always agree with everything?
So I had a best friend who is now passed away who told me the truth has no friends.
Yeah.
And she said at the end of the day, the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
She said that truth wins and love wins. It may take a long time, but truth always wins and love always wins. And so for me, and there have been times when my husband and I have not necessarily agreed on what's happening out there when it comes to policing and how it's being perceived. As a mother of a black son, I walk that very faint, strange line. And so there have been times I've been very passionate about just how young black boys are being treated by law enforcement. And it's sometimes been a point of disagreement for us because he's a police officer and he sees the community from a different angle than I do. And he'll always tell me to take feelings out of it, etc. And so I think for me, what has worked for us in my marriage, he knows I'm very passionate. He knows that I'm one about truth. And at the end of the day, regardless of the version the media is telling or the version that the police department's telling, regardless of any of that, the truth always comes out. And so for me, that's kind of how I deal with kind of like those disagreements, and we allow ourselves to have them. Because I'm not a law enforcement officer, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and so lots of times I look back to blue because I'm like, okay, the little clip you saw, really what happened a whole hour before that? But I'm also a mother, and so every single time that a little black boy is gunned down or is killed, whether it's by law enforcement or by their peers, I feel very strongly about it because all those faces, I see my son transposed, it could be him, right? And so I think allowing ourselves to know who we are, allowing ourselves to be mothers, allowing ourselves to be women, and allowing ourselves to be wives gives us that room to say, I don't agree with your point of view and how you're looking at the situation. Here is mine, and we can agree to disagree.
So it's okay to disagree.
Yeah,
Absolutely. You should.
Yeah.
You're gonna have it.
Yeah.
They see the world from a totally different angle than we do. We can, unless we become law enforcement officers, which no one wants me to have a gun. But you know what I'm saying? Or corrections officers, we're never gonna be able to see that perspective. Only perspective I have is mine. And in a marriage, we have to understand that we are going to be different, and you have to respect my perspective because it's my truth from where I stand.
Absolutely.
So absolutely disagree.
Yeah.
So I want to share that for me, my husband and I, we welcome disagreement. We welcome stating our points of view. When I was younger, I always wanted to be a lawyer. So in my house, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
And my husband respects that, but what I love is that we have an opportunity to see it from each other's lenses. That's not something that I am comfortable with doing on the outside of my home because I won't be protected and cultivated the same way that I would by my husband in my home. So when I don't agree with something, I'm a lover of young people. I run an organization in Baltimore City, and I love young people. That is my heart. That is my drive. And my husband is out there doing work where sometimes these young people spit at him, treat him disrespectful, and they'll pull out a gun and shoot a cop. So when I come from that place of love and understanding, and he comes from that place of having to set a certain tone for his job, we clash a little, but we talk about it, we share what we need to say. It may get a little heated, but it never gets disrespectful. And then we walk away knowing it's all good, let's go have dinner. So it's all about understanding each other and respecting each other's opinion.
Yes.
It's healthy.
Yes.
It needs to happen.
Yes.
Especially when you're married to someone in law enforcement. You have to have those conversations.
Yes.
For me, it's very similar. We have disagreements, I'm the one. I'm very opinionated, so I have an opinion about everything, and I need to be heard, and it must go this way. For my husband, it's like, okay, just hold back a little bit. Let's listen. Let's try to see what's happening. So a lot of times he will come home and he will share experiences with me, and that's what calms him. So I'll always make sure I'm listening. I'm always listening, and he'll say something to me, and I'm like, what? How did that happen? Like, you didn't do this, that. And he's like, you do not understand what happens at work.
Yes.
You do not understand, because I'm a teacher, so I'm thinking, immediately I get into teacher mode. Why didn't you reprimand him? Why didn't you tell him to do this? Why didn't you tell him to do that? And that is where I come from, but he is coming from a different place. And I have come a far way. I have grown to understand and respect that, and that is what we use. That is what guides us. If we have a conversation, if we have an argument, if we have any kind of back and forth, at the end of the day, there's that respect and that there's that understanding that we use to push us through. Because if I don't understand him and he doesn't understand me, then where's the marriage?
Yeah.
Where is it going? So that's what we do.
And I think for us, I think it's about having courageous conversations. A lot of this is uncomfortable for us. And there are a lot of things that are unjust. And we are all coming from different point of view. And I think we have to be understanding to everyone's point of view. Because a lot of it, you act out of your emotions, out of your thinking, what could have happened, and out of your morals, right? So you have to be open to having conversations that you're gonna have to look at all opinions. And you have to agree to disagree sometimes, but at the end of the day, you have to have this, because if not, it's going to be a kind of uncomfortable situation in your house. Because things that happen like this, that's my companion, that's my best friend. If I can't have that conversation with my best friend and be truthful with him, who am I having this conversation with, right? So I think that's important to have these healthy conversations, and it's okay to disagree. You know?
That is like the perfect segue into my next question, communication. Now, a lot of times we find that when you come home, you don't want to bring certain things home. So there's a shutdown the second they hit the door. Or how does that affect you when you want that open communication, but you're not getting it because for protection reasons, your husbands may be feeling, I don't want to divulge what I went through today. How does that affect you guys?
Well, for me, it's a little bit different, because I know he holds back some of the, some situations that occur at work, but for the most part for him, what calms him, what brings him to that place of comfort is having those courageous conversations with me. So I have developed a sense of understanding, knowing that I need to sit down, shut my mouth, listen to what he has to say, because that's what he needs to do. He needs to be listened to right now. He needs to speak. Whether you want to hear what he has to say or not, you're thinking, oh, the kids are over there, I got to get homework done. You have to set that time aside to sit and listen, because that is extremely important in any kind of relationship. So that's what we do.
And then the opposite is also true. I think we could all agree, we've been married long enough to know that when he doesn't want to talk, you leave him alone. Because there are times when he doesn't want to talk. And when he comes home, he wants to get out his uniform. And he does not want to talk. He doesn't want to cuddle. He doesn't want to tell you about his day. He doesn't want to hear about yours. And so I think we've come to a place I've come to a place in my marriage where I'm so comfortable with myself that I don't take it as rejection. I don't take that as he doesn't have an interest in my day or whatever the case is. I take that as that's his way of wellness. That here am I assisting him with his mental wellness, with just self-care by giving him that time to be to himself, watch TV, whatever crazy show, or just, I don't want to talk about my day, and I don't want to hear about yours. He doesn't say that with the behavior, but you are so comfortable in who you are and understanding this is what he needs in order to function, that you welcome that and you're okay with that. So.
I think you also need to know your husband. I think that's very important, because like I said in the book, I can tell when he had a hard day. Because when he had a hard day, he would just walk in, go straight into the shower, and I said it, I felt like he was washing away every negative thing that he's seen. And you have to know whether or not let me give him his moment, and he's gonna let it go, speak out when he's ready. So you have to also not be that wife that's on top of him all the time, because that's gonna cause a lot of conflict in your home. So you have to really know your partner and know sometimes it's nothing personal. I've learned not to take it personal, because when you take it personal, it becomes a problem.
Yes.
You have to know that.
Yes.
And for me, I think that God placed you with this person for a reason.
Absolutely.
Even before you went into law enforcement, it's something that you know each other enough that a conversation can be had without words being spoken. So for me, sometimes when I know my husband doesn't want to talk about something, or he does want to share something, I try to always be available. Be present at that moment, because it's like, oh, wait a minute, everything shuts down, he's finally going to talk, I need to listen, right? But at the same time, I've learned to be confident in myself as his wife, as a woman, to know that I'm going to let him be. He might come talk to me about it next week, or he might never talk to me about it. And I'm okay with that. Because when they come home, they need to know that they're coming into a space, that they're loved, that they're understood, even if that means silence. Which is hard for me to do as a Puerto Rican woman. But I'm working on it, and we've gotten here. So it's about just being quiet and letting it be. When it's meant to be heard, it's heard. When it's not, it won't be. And maybe some things are better left unsaid.
That's right.
I love it. Thank you very much. And this is going to be my final question, because I want people to buy the book and not give everything out right now. Mental health issues. I cannot have a conversation about our community and not mention that. The fact that you guys have started this group, that's the first step. There's an outlet. What would you suggest to other spouses out there on how to protect their own mental health?
I think find your tribe.
Yeah.
And what I've learned in writing this book and in talking with, I'm in different police wives groups. What I've learned is that police wives groups don't exist really around this country. Support groups or law enforcement. I'm gonna say law enforcement because Charlie's husband is a correction, and she's like, law enforcement, not police. So law enforcement officers, is that there's no real support for them. There was this one woman in the group who said that her husband, he's a sergeant, and he went to his boss, he told his boss, I'm not okay. Like, I feel like I'm going crazy, I'm not okay, I need help. You know what his boss told him? Oh, take a day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Just one day.
Just take a day, we'll see you tomorrow. There was no, here's the therapist, there was no what's going on. It's kind of like this, so even for them at work, it's kind of this toughness, this play down of mental wellness, but you have, and I don't know where I heard it, you have unwell police officers who are serving unwell communities. What do you think is going to happen? If mental health in this country is downplayed, now you're putting badges and guns in the hands of men who have PTSD, who have depression, who have issues at home, maybe going through a divorce. My husband came out of the Marine Corps, and he came out, he had nightmares. So PTSD, and he became a police officer. Now I'm a big on mental therapy, so sir. But not he went to his boss and cried. A grown man in a uniform and said, I need help, something's wrong with me. And all he was told was, oh, take the day off and we'll see you tomorrow. He could have gone home and offed his wife, offed his children, or offed himself, right? So I think this mental health conversation needs to happen seriously, not just for law enforcement officers, but also for their families. Anxiety and depression still are, but were my demons that I had to fight. I mean, literally fight during my entire marriage and even now, but in the beginning, it was hard. There were days I did not want to live. Like, if I didn't wake up tomorrow, I would have been cool. There were days like that, and no law enforcement officers' wives, committee,
no
that I could go to and talk to. No, well, where can I go get therapy? Nothing. And then my husband is not there. And I had a small baby. Add those things together, right? So for me, I'm serious about mental illness and mental health. And that is definitely something that we talk about in this book. And that's one of the things that must change. It's not a shoulda, coulda, woulda. It has to change in our country, in our law enforcement communities, before we can really begin to see differences in the street.
And there's different kinds of people, and they have different perspectives on these experiences, and they react differently. They're the people who they're going to work, they're getting everything done, making it happen, but they're silent. They're the people who speak out every day, talk about it, and you think they're okay. On both sides, you might think that they're okay, but we need to address this.
Oh yeah.
And in this era where mindfulness is so big, I think these groups that we're talking about, they need to be a part of this mindfulness experience that's happening right now, that we can support these women. We need to let them know, because before all of this, I didn't think, oh, it's a problem. You're silent. You're alone. I'm like, live every day. Got to take care of the kids. Got to work. Let's make it happen. Make it work. But it's serious, and we want to be there to support these people. So we want you to know that if you are suffering or you are experiencing these things, speak out, talk out, reach out for help, because we're here, and there are a lot of people out there who are experiencing this also, and willing to talk, willing to help, willing to support. So
And if you are having, and I want to say, because I need to memorize the number, but if you feel like you're in distress, call 311 and ask for the National Suicide Hotline. If you feel like at minimum, you can call 911 and someone will talk to you on that line as well. I need to memorize that suicide hotline number, but yes, please, if you feel like you're in so much distress, call 911 or call 311, and someone will definitely be on the other side of that line to talk you through or direct you to where you can get help.
And I think what we try to say is stop suffering in silence. There is an audience out there that wants to support you, and we are that audience right now. We felt like we didn't have that support, and there were moments, just like Joy said, Rachel, like I was depressed. I suffered with anxiety, I dealt with abandonment issues, I dealt with rejection, and I was doing it all alone. You would never know. I put it on real well, looked all put together inside, but I was a broken woman walking out there. And if you don't get help, you're going to suffer. You cannot be everything you're created to be if you're not healed. And I've learned how to become healed. Now for me, it was my faith. That's what helped me. And now I'm saying we want to come out there and give you hope. We want to give you courage. We want to give you love. And that's our goal, is to create a support system. I'm out in New York. My husband's for NYPD. That's my goal. I want to go out there and create a support system for them. We can do it nationally as well, to know you are not alone. Don't give up. This book was written for those people to know, don't give up. We're here for you. Don't give up. Live. There's a purpose for you. There's a calling for you. And we want you to know, live. And we're here to help you.
Yes. And lastly, I want to just say that secrets are things that cause so much pain because people don't open their mouth. And can I just tell anyone that is watching this, that is hearing this, I can guarantee you that if you open your mouth and you begin to speak and share what you're feeling, what you've experienced, and what you're going through in your marriage, there are 50 million more women that know the story. There are 50 million more women that have experienced it, and more than ever, there are 50 million more women that have survived it. So we're here to tell you that you can survive anything that you go through. You know where I handle my wars? On my knees. Because that is where things come together for me. So for me personally as well, is my faith. I hold on to that, and mental health is so important. But before we can even get to mental health, we have to be ready to open our mouths. When you speak, you get help. When you stay quiet, the enemy can get you in a place where you are isolated. We are just cutting isolation. We are going to a place of faith. We're going to a place of just loving on one another. And that is what this is about. So open your mouth, because somebody is going through what you're going through, and someone has been through it. And probably one of us right on this stage has been through it. And we want to be your support. So reach out, get the book, go to the website, and tell us what you have gone and what you've experienced from reading it.
Tell us the website, please.
So we actually have a Facebook page, Love Behind the Blue Line Book. Follow us on that page. You can get our book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. So please go online and purchase the book there. And we're also on Instagram, Love Behind the Blue Line Book. Love Behind the Blue Line Book, I think is what it is. Follow us on Instagram. we are going to take 2019 by storm. So we are going to be
Yes.
traveling
Look
this,
out.
this country, bringing this book and bringing hope and ending the silence, quiet. So if you're used to quiet, just know we're coming to shatter all
That's
that.
right.
Shake things up a
Break it
bit.
up.
We're gonna shake things up a bit. So
You're not
Love Behind the
named.
Blue Line book, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. And that's where you can get our book.
Where are you next?
So the next thing we have lined up is not until April, which will be in Spokane, Washington. But that's just for now. I can guarantee you that we're going to
Yeah.
have something January, February, March. I'm speaking it.
Definitely.
But the next thing we have for sure right now is in Spokane, Washington. We will be flying out there in April, and we will be with the Spokane Police Department. We will be in that community in April for 2 days.
Thank you so very much, ladies. Do you have any closing thoughts you want to use or have or something to close us out with? Just one, two little things.
I just want to encourage you to live fearlessly.
I just want to say be bold, be courageous, and follow your dreams. And everybody has something great. And I want you to follow it and just live. Don't survive. Live. Tell your story just like we're telling our story.
Open your mouth.
Yeah, share your story.
Yes.
Open your mouth.
Share your stories. That's all I have to say. Whatever you have, whatever is happening, share it.
Right.
Folks, we want to thank you for tuning in to the Culture Divide Experiment. I'm your host, Barry J. Thank you again, ladies, for spending some time with us.
Thank you
and
for
we
having
look
us.
forward to the next time. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.